Welcome everyone, Unstoppable Sleds is here with something you probably weren't expecting today. So instead of doing AoE3 or Age of Mythology stuff, today I'll be covering a mod for the older version of Steam's AoE2, that would be Age of Empires 2 HD Edition, a mod called Age of Empires 2 The American World. And the reason I'm covering this is because this is a mod I did a long time ago. I don't know how many years ago it was, but definitely I don't think DE was out at that point, so definitely quite a bit of time. The reason why it's so important to cover it today is recently they released a new patch of this mod. And it's not known yet if it will be released or ported to Definitive Edition at some point, but I think this would probably be one of the better candidates for a mod to be ported over because it does quite a lot of things, I would say. So the main thing it does is it replaces some of the existing civs in HD Edition with new Native American civs as well as a new European civ. So we'll see that right here by pulling this down. You can already see one, the Anasazi. You hear about a lot about them in history. Also the Araucanians. These are basically your older version of the Mapuche and Wars of Liberty. You got the Diaguita, another Native American group. You got the Dutch, which is the new European being added. We all know who the Dutch are. They make their appearance known in AoE3 with their banks. Though, they're a little bit different here. They do some other stuff. And then we got the Tiano down here. Those wonderful people that Christopher Columbus first found when coming to the New World, but they didn't last long after that, you know? Sad story, but at least we can play as them here. So in order to get this mod, you would have to get it from the Steam Workshop, as well as the text mod, which is currently active. But if you want to actually play the mod properly, you do have to modify the dataset in your lobby. Notice now how it's expansions. This is like the standard dataset for people with the DLCs. You got original game here, which is basically just like Up to the Conquerors without DLCs. And you have to select Age of Empires 2, The American World. And once you do this, notice that your civs over here that used to have the Rise of the Risers icon were replaced with this new Native American mask here to represent them. Yeah, the only difference is the Anasazi, of course, because, as you know, only 4 civilizations were released with the Rise of the Risers DLC, so they still had to reserve a spot for the Anasazi, so they used one of the original civs for that up here. And just to prove that this mod is legit, and it actually does what it says, we'll just take a look at the tech tree real quick. Notice the cool change in the boxes here. Looks more native looking. Yeah, so we can see right here, Anasazi as an example. Farms have more armor. All units have 10% more HP. Quite a good bonus. Houses, palisades, walls, and gates gain 4 line of sight. So if you're playing like Arabia and you're like walling all over the place, you'll be able to see your enemies from a bit farther away now. Receive 100 stone whenever a new age is reached. This one seems really good because this looks really favorable for fast castle strategies. Because you already have 200 more wood by the 200 stone, I should say, by the time you get up there. To actually get down 2 more town centers. Because normally, right, you only have enough stone for 1 town center if you don't gather any more stone in Age 2 at that point, so the ability to get possibly 3 or 4 town centers at the start is pretty good, you know what I mean? They can also build markets in Dark Age. This is really great because if you want to do some weird resource trades in the super early game, you can do that. And no extra fees for sending resources. So when it comes to tributing to your allies, you can generally send the full amount to your allies. This is great for team games. In terms of unique units, they get access to the mantlet. Same mantlet as we see in Age of Empires 3 pretty much. And then they have these unique techs. Flying shields. you know, your trash units come out faster when you're training them. And then Siege of Alcoma, siege units and mantlets benefit from ballistics. And their team bonus would be Monastery provides plus 10 population. We'll just go through here and just see what the civ looks like. So, looks like your everyday Meso American civ. You got your archers, you got your barracks, including the Eagle Warriors. Notice this. This is another thing that this mod recently did in the new patches. They did actually add some of the Definitive Edition technologies to HD Edition. So they added supplies, and they also added Gambesons, both of which benefits your militia line, your champions, your two-handed swords, those things. And then, as we move over here, notice the Xolotl Warrior. Recall in Definitive Edition, when a Meso American converts a stable, they can train this cavalry called the Xolotl Warrior, which is basically just a jaguar warrior on top of a horse, basically, with the same stats as a knight, pretty much. And what the developers did in this recent patch as well for American World is they actually added the Xolotl Warrior to any stable owned by any of these Native American civs, including the older ones. So if you have a monk and you have redemption and you convert that stable, you can actually make these in the Castle Age and the Imperial Age. Quite useful. Obviously, they have the same drawbacks as they do in DE. Most civs, and I say most, there's one exception, will not really be able to upgrade this much. So, you basically get stuck with the stats of a knight, which falls out of favor really quickly as the game progresses. Also notice this type of ship here, the Kanoa. Basically, this is a Native American version of the cannon galleon that Native Americans can make. Also, the devs for some of the civs, they added the droman, too, for like the Byzantines and civs like that. So these devs, in addition to adding these new Native American civs in the Dutch, added a lot of the stuff from DE, including the dromans, the Xolotl Warriors, a lot of the text like this. This is a lot of quality of life stuff to make this mod feel more like DE. Now, should this mod get ported over to DE, I think some of that stuff probably won't be as important, but the fact that it's here now in HD Edition will make people feel more comfortable, I think, playing the older game then. So here's the mantlet I was talking about. It's basically an infantry and siege unit hybrid. Melee attack with minimum range. Benefits from improvements in the barracks and university. So it's kind of a very wacky unit. It has the icon of the Huron mantlet in AoE 3, so it's deeply tied to that. Yeah, and in general, most of them, I think all the Native American civs, for the most part, have a full blacksmith, except for, the cavalry armor, obviously. Again, with the exception of one, which we can actually go into, I think, before we get into some gameplay. Yeah, in general, these new civs have a lot of open text, I feel like, for the most part, I would say. Yeah, and just to show you what the exception is, here are the Araucanians, aka the Mapuche, pretty much. So, yeah, they're sort of one of the only, they are the only Native American civ in this mod and in the AoE 2 game to actually have access to cavalry without that one exception rule that I mentioned. So, as you see here, they actually can construct stables of their own. They can make actually trash units. They can make the scout line up to the light cavalry upgrade. They get bloodlines, which is great. And they can train the Xolotl Warrior from that as well. Right, they also get access to cav archers with thumb ring and Parthian tactics, so they can actually go for archery. Not as good as the Mongols or the Huns because of the lack of heavy cav archer, but they can go with cav archers. It's an option they can actually do. In early game, it's pretty good, probably. Later in the game, it gets a little bit sus, I think, because you're just relying on Parthian to do it. And yep, here, even their unique unit is a cavalry. The Araucan unique unit, the Weichefe. And essentially, this is the same as the Infernale or the Montanera in Wars of Liberty, so it's like a cav with the lance that's good at killing other cav, basically. And if we move further to the right over here, guess what? They're the only Native American civ to have blacksmith upgrades for cavalry armor. So, yeah. Basically, Tiano, the Deguita, the Anasazi, they can make cavalry without that, except the unupgraded Xolotl Warriors. But the Araucanians, since they're basically the Mapuche, and as you know from Wars of Liberty, they love their mountain units, they're the only Meso civ that actually gets access to mountain units. It doesn't mean that they can't produce Eagle Warriors, and actually this goes to their advantage, because that means, hey, not only can they go trash wars in the late game, in the early game, they can actually switch off between using Xolotl Warriors and Eagles, which, as you know, the Eagles can fight their way through polearms pretty good, so it gives them a bit of an edge there. But I guess that's enough of talking about some of the civ stuff. We could certainly do individual videos on these civilizations, I would say, you know. But let's just get started and show you a bit of a match, so you can sort of see how they work pretty much. Because this is a pretty neat thing too. They actually have their own architecture as well, so these devs didn't go skimpy on anything, I would say. Who we gonna fight against? I don't know, maybe Spanish? Historically accurate, I guess. Yeah, Spanish is probably the one you want to use for most of these here. Definitely. So, let me do that. Let's boot up a game. Yeah, in general, this mod is great for, just doing, games against the AI, I feel like. I did actually a long time ago, and I'm not going to use hotkeys, by the way, because I don't remember what they are, so sorry about that, but whatever. I put this AI on moderate, so it shouldn't be too hard to deal with. Basically, a long time ago, I actually did this mod's multiplayer and played against someone in some deathmatch games. It was actually really fun and they liked it, so I mean, if you got some friends who still have HD Edition, this is a great mod to play with them because it's got a lot of content to it, you know? Definitely. Yeah. I don't play a lot of AoE 2, just so you know, so if you see me doing something that doesn't look normal or right, like, oh yeah, I wouldn't do that if I was playing. Like, okay, I don't play a lot of AoE 2. I know the basic build order though. I know, like, first you start with sheep, then you get 3 to 4 on the wood, then you get up to the mill, and then somewhere in between you get the boar. I kind of get all that part, and then I also sort of get, you know, timing to get up to a fast castle as well. So, I mean, I know the bare bones parts of AoE 2 gameplay, and I know the military stuff pretty good, but other than that, I'm not like a pro at this by any means. I don't try to go like, oh, no, he's claiming he's an expert in AoE 2. I'm not an expert, but I'm just good by experience, because I have played AoE 2 for many years. I think I actually played multiplayer Age of Empires 2 on HD Edition longer than I even played AoE 3 in multiplayer. So I have actually more experience per se doing this than I do even in AoE 3. Well, at least from a timeline standpoint. Which is interesting, you know? Yeah. I'm not trying to play too seriously here, so I'm just going to grab some of the straggler trees, I think. Yeah, that should be fine for now. Definitely. Yeah. If this was like a human opponent, like Blackwing or something who you've seen me play against, I'd be totally dead by now, probably. But, against a moderate AI, definitely not, you know. I find that the AIs in AoE 2, once you get to, like, the really hard level, you can generally deal with them pretty easily. You know, they're not that hard to deal with, you know. Yeah, definitely. As you can see here at, like, the beginning of the game, you know, not too much different from, you know, standard AoE 2, right? Your Dark Age is pretty much the same. Try to find a similar build order, I think, and you'll do pretty good here, you know. Sheep first, leopard camp next, mill next, and then boar. Keep up with that, and you should be able to keep up with general macro here against your opponent, whether it's AI or human. Also make sure you scout enough with your Eagle Scout. You know, I've already found my boars, I found a relic, that's pretty good. That's generally a rule of thumb for any RTS game. Reconnaissance is key. You get a mill over here, this looks like a decent spot. I mean, if it's not a decent spot, certainly let me know and I'll try to do better next time, but it is what it is. I actually got a relic here too, which is really good. Gotta make sure that their monks don't get these, because I need the gold more than they do. You know, I want to make lots of neat units here. That's definitely what I want to do. Ooh, we the Anasazi, yeah. I thought I was. Kind of had a special moment there, but alright. So in general, it looks like our food queue is pretty good. Oh yeah, I'm finally losing pops, so I have to get on house now. You get a house somewhere over here. Yeah. I'm playing as good as I did, probably like 5-6 years ago, I would say. You know, ever since I got into Wars of Liberty, I really wasn't doing a whole lot of AoE 2 anymore, so I just sort of plateaued for a bit. But I'll be honest. I've seen some VTubers play AoE 2, and I'll tell you this much, I'm definitely doing way better than they are. You know, at least I have like the bare bones basics of how to do this, so yeah. I'll just use this hotkey, I just looked it up at this point, so let's use the hotkey. Should make things a bit easier for myself. And yep, and now we gotta get the little boar over here. I know my timing's a bit off too, but that's alright. Yeah. At least one hotkey will help us out, I think. Definitely. Yep, now I just have to make sure I don't get eaten by the angry little piggy here. Lure me in. Yeah. I'm not too worried about drop-off points at this point, so I'm fine that it's not that close. Yeah. As long as I get both pigs and don't lose any villages, I think I'm in pretty good shape. Yep, and our hotkey, that one works. So we're not completely screwed. We know enough of our hotkeys to get by, I think. That's good. That's definitely good. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on berries here until... Yeah. See, I'm trying to use the hotkeys that I know from DE, but it's not working here, so I'm just gonna have to use a good old mouse to click on stuff for a while. Yeah. Another relic. This is wonderful. That's a lot of relics for me to grab. If I'm really quick and I get to, you know, Castle Age pretty quickly, we can grab those real quick, get ahead of our opponent. Should be great. How many villagers are we gonna get? Well, isn't the rule of thumb generally like 22 or so villagers by the time you hit the Feudal Age? Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna go for here. No need to rush things too much. I'd rather just do it carefully and make sure that I got enough stuff when I go up. Yeah. Alright, so get the little piggy down here. Turn him into a ham dinner and we should be good. We grab make sure I fish him in enough. I don't want him getting away from me. Okay. Yeah, you come over here. I will shoot him in the back. Alright. Yeah, it feels weird playing like a casual AoE 2 game against the AI again. You know, it doesn't feel as competitive when I'm doing AoE 3 against humans. It feels sort of casual, just for me anyways. It's kind of a fun feeling, you know. Sure, playing against humans is great, but every now and then just fighting against an easy bot, just having fun is great too, so... Yeah, definitely enjoy these RTS games as much as you can, you know. Though multiplayer is probably the way to go for the most action. Facing against an AI every now and then is good too, to practice your skills, you know. Doing something like this every day against an AI can definitely make you better at AoE 2 if you're looking to get up in the ELO rankings. Yeah, definitely, because even though the bot isn't going to do as skilled stuff as a human is in most cases, you do learn to do your stuff quicker, right? You wouldn't get housed like I did over there. You'd put your boars in better positions than this. It would be closer to the middle of the town center, right? You'd get right underneath. So definitely train up on your skills every day, if you can. because it does pay off in the end, generally speaking. So definitely trying to make sure you practice every day if you want to get good at AoE 2. Because the thing I found with AoE 2 is the learning curve is a lot steeper to get really good at. For AoE 3, for Age of Mythology, maybe even AoE 4, it's really easy to learn stuff very quickly. But for AoE 2, you could probably be learning for years and years and still not know everything that you need to know to pull off wins, you know what I mean? Yep, so you see how the markets actually was already available in that last second of Dark Age too, so that wasn't a lie at all either. That's certainly something you can do in some builds, I think, if you want to get some gold or stone early to, you know, get some outposts or something. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind when you're playing as the Anasazi. I'm gonna put some houses up here though, but you also have to be careful of the doggos here that might try to attack you. Try to kill him. Perfect, just enough HP to slide on by. Great. Yeah, unfortunately all that commotion prevented me from getting a house down. Can I get some horse color here? It's kind of funny because you get horse color even though your Anasazi civ doesn't even know what a horse is probably, you know. So it like the Native American color or something? Yeah, must be, you know. How are you going to use a horse collar without a horse? Like you literally be chained it to some guy's neck and having him spin around in the mill or something. Yeah, kind of strange when you think about it that way. But as you see right now, I'm just going to wall myself off a bit here. Get the, what's the... Oh, same hotkey as the villager. Interesting. Alright. Yeah. This is around the period that you would start farming, probably. Probably not going to go FC right now, because I just want to get my stuff figured out here. Yeah. It's probably more important. Also pick up the double bit axe. This is always a really good tech to get as quick as you can. Yeah. Still not quite used with this whole hotkey thing, you know. Oh, so double A tap is farm. Okay, that's good to know. Even just using a couple of these hotkeys probably is going to help me out pretty good here. I also want to think about maybe walling off down here too. At some point. Maybe now, maybe real soon I want to do that. Also, at some point I should pick up loom as well, because if I try to go out and do these walling expeditions, more likely than not, the wolf blitzer is going to try to eat me at some point. Yeah. How could I wall this actually? Well, I could use this, use the geography to my advantage and get some stone walling here. Yeah, this is the other good thing for Anasazi too. Every time they age up, they get more stone upon the age up, so that definitely gives them an edge when it comes to like base planning and getting protection. You know, like people like the survivalists basically telling you, oh yeah, you only want to use stone for this, this, and this compared to palisades. Well, with the Anasazi, because again, all that extra stone, it can be argued sometimes that going for that stone wall is actually better in a lot of cases, because you're going to have extra stone to work with always. So feel free to put down like a stone wall like this, just so you know you're protecting yourself base-wise from the opponent, because that's the most important thing. You don't want all these raiding units coming in and destroying everything. You kind of want to make sure, hey, I'm protecting myself from all these possible attack angles. I definitely think too, having extra armor on these farms is pretty good defensive-wise. I mean, can we see how much armor they get? Looking at the stats. Yeah, it doesn't seem to show it in the UI for HD edition, but I bet if an opponent was trying to attack my farms with, say, archers or men-at-arms or something, if this was like a drush or man-at-arm archers, you'd probably be in better shape than in like defending that, I would say. Just to check, I'm going to make sure that that's cliff down there, so I can plan my protection. Also at this point for me as well, wouldn't hurt for me to start like thinking about protection of some kind, like getting a barracks and sticking it up here somewhere. Yeah. See these cool new models for buildings in this mod? Yeah, they did a really good job when designing these new buildings, you know. They could have just used the old school Aztec Inca Mayan one, but they didn't feel that that was good, so they definitely tried not to do that. What's going on here? Are they fighting back? Ah, I got teamed on by 2 wolves. That's not good. Just had to make sure I plugged in my PC so I don't get shut off by lack of battery energy. Yeah. Don't you just love it when you get teamed on by 2 wolf blitzers like that? Doesn't feel really good, does it? Nah. Even with the loom. Wait a minute, I didn't even get the loom, did I? Yeah, I didn't get the loom. Sorry about that, sorry about that. I thought I did for some reason. This is the thing. The one problem with playing the old school AoE 2 is you don't have, like, the newer UI when you can just plan your technologies while, you know, doing that. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it, you know? And you know what you can do, too, with extra stone? You can get a watchtower. Yeah. Why don't we do that? Yeah, watchtower right here. That would be perfect for this area. You know what? We have so much of this gold that I may as well just start getting some stone now, too. We probably need more stone at this point. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get in that tower, distract them a bit. I will get some Eagle Warriors for this. Eagles and Skirms should be able to clean this up, you think, right? Yeah, I think so. So it's, yeah, see, I feel like this is going to be really good in, like, 1v1 PvP gameplay. Just being able to, tower up a lot easier with this civ. Compared to... I just don't have any place to garrison them, though, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Let's see if we can get them back to the TC safely. I think I'll save one of them at least. I just don't have any space, right? That's unfortunate. That's alright. Seem to be doing okay, you know, so it's not as bad. This bot seems to have a problem with me using a tower, so I think I'll stick to that. You know, the bot doesn't seem to know what to do against that, so I think that's good for my sake. Yeah, just go into wood. So, look at me. Haven't played in probably... When's the last time I did like an actual PvP game of AoE 2? Probably not for a month at least. Well, at least not like a regular game. Last time I did like a regular game was against, you know, that one with the Wool One-Itos and Blackwing and everything. That was quite a long time ago, so yeah, this is my first time in a while, so I have to get reacquainted with like my timing and everything, and I'm also already housed again, so we gotta worry about that. It's not a big deal, right? Trying to hold up the mic as well, so it's kind of a bit of an interesting challenge here, working with one set of fingers. Rest assured, I think once we get all the stone down, we should be good. Yeah, see, this is the good thing about going with Eagle Warriors, is you can counter their monks with that, which is great, you know. I should probably put some, like, spears over here as well, just to protect this area, because I definitely don't want the bot picking that up at all. Yeah, this is going to be very helpful now that I'm basically protecting my base from his potential attacks. Because, hey, look here, just because I picked the right difficulty of AI, I don't necessarily have to be doing multiple town serves to keep up, right? I can just stick to one for now, sort of keep my defenses going. Yeah, that's sort of why I went with, like, the moderate AI. Didn't really want to go with the hard one because I knew I was a bit untrained. I didn't want to jump into something a little bit more severe just yet. Yeah, but generally speaking, I'm doing alright defensively, I think. I mean, yeah, let me just make sure there's no entrance point down there either. Yeah. Put some farms up. I think also the extra 10% HP on my units is also giving me a bit of an edge here too on my skirms, on my eagles, all that. So yeah, definitely enjoy that aspect of the civ too, that your stuff's naturally going to be a bit tankier. I'll repair this too a little bit. Yep. So, oh, okay. I think I sort of understand the hotkeying now. Okay, so I can just do a bunch of these quickly. Okay. Took me a while to figure it out, but I think we're finally got it at this point. Got the hang of it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not even going to put a gate up yet. I'm just going to, like, wall that off. So what's over here? Is there anything there we have to worry about just yet? Hopefully not. Don't want action just yet. I like action, but, could use a little bit more building time, I think, just to get things established. Hey, up here, probably I'll just get it. You know what I could do for now? I could literally just get like a palisade gate, I think, for this area. Yeah, save a little bit of stone, because you might need it later. And you never quite know in this thing how that's going to turn out, so yeah. Get an archery range, get a bit more military. Also going to want to pick up a blacksmith. Oh yeah, no automatic reseeding, right? You gotta love this, right? How do you reseed these? Yeah, alright. Okay. Yeah, you have to reseed manually. Gotta love the old game, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. There's no experience like it, man. Now I'm just gonna get some wood, I think, at this point. Probably gonna want to get a lumber camp down there too. So we're yeah, we got enough farms for a while, right? So I mean, yeah. That's the one good thing, though, of, like, doing your farms ahead of time is, like, the reseeding is you don't have to question that, hey, I don't have enough for this or that. Like, you've already paid up the wood up front, so you don't have to worry about it, you know. You got some farms to work with, basically. I mean, at this point, we're in pretty solid shape, I think. But you never know, so... I'm gonna get supplies now, too. So if you want to go with the sword line at all, the champions, we can definitely get that later. Yep, see, supplies is being researched. We can also pick up men-at-arms now to keep up with our research, our techs. I mean, I would probably... Yeah, I'll get a gate over here, too, just so we're keeping ourselves covered on all sides. Yeah, once I get like a base of, like a basic defense, then I can think about expanding out. Really? Yeah. Because we got the relic here that we know about, we got the relic here that we know about. So basically I'm protecting all of my relics at this point, just because I don't want to, you know, end up in a nasty situation. I think at this point too, it's safe to get a wheelbarrow, because it's pretty optimized for us to do so now. Got the blacksmith, it actually has smoke coming out of it. Yeah, they did a really good job with these building designs, for sure. Definitely. What happened up? Got attacked by a wolf blitzer again. Too low HP, probably from the enemy attack. Gotta love that, don't you? Yep. Well, it's alright, we'll get this done. We'll get this done. Because I think at this point, it's safe to say I'm kind of in a good shape to start pushing out at some point. You know, I got enough, like, macro, I feel like. Wood chopping's pretty good, got a lot of stone, get the stone upgrade, stone mining. Yeah, at this point I could afford to actually start pushing back on the AI pretty soon. I just want to make sure that I sort of tech up now, get all the techs that I need to do so, grab the relics so we get a bit of a back up in terms of our gold numbers. Because this is going to cost a lot of gold for us to push forward with, I feel. And I think what we're probably going to end up doing is using a lot of mantlets to do this as well. because we're going to need sort of that siege and infantry hybrid to push ourselves forward. Yeah, so definitely we're going to want to do that. Right now, though, I mean, I could just, like, I don't know, get skirm, spearmen, yeah. Just get a bunch of trash right now, you know, that's what I do in, like, DE, like, if I don't know what I'm doing. If I don't know what I'm doing in DE, I simply just, you know, make a bunch of trash units, you know, make a bunch of skirms, make a bunch of spearmen, make some scout cav. You know, even if you don't want to, like, make archers or swords just yet in, like, an FFA, just making a bunch of trash units can give yourself a nice starting mass to protect yourself with. And I just saw a way of entrance right there, so I have to close that off, too. Yeah, well, do I have enough to do it with, though, is the question. I don't know just yet. I might need some more building space to do this. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, I might need to... Yeah. Well, what we're going to need to do, I feel like, which we can start to do a bit now, is get some town centers over here. You know what I mean? Just start building those TCs out. Getting the attack on the spearmen. Good idea. Yeah. Generally, I just want to get, like, a bunch of defenses down now. Still gotta get used to this hockey system, seriously. Yeah. Alright, well, we can get over here, right? Now we got some more town centers to work with. So I'm gonna try to build them back here as well. Having the pikemen up right now is probably gonna be very good, because that means I can fight off these knights a lot easier now. Definitely useful. Yeah, that's the cool thing about pikemen, you know. The more of them you make, kind of negates the power of the knight, really. You can really defend yourself a lot better. But I'm going to need a lot more of these barracks, though, to do this. I don't think we're going to just be able to do little numbers like that anymore. No. So, do we have any food economy left? Very little, but we got it. Yeah. I think at this point we're kind of getting overwhelmed, so we might want to get a castle at this point and just, like, get some, like, defense near the base. Yeah. Well, why'd that cancel out, though? Give me one of these. What was that? Let's see how the mantlet is. I mean, even if we get a little dominated here, it's still good to see, you know, what the mantlet looks like, get familiar with it. Do I have enough defense for this area? Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, just keep building, man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, just building the castle is probably going to be the only thing that saved me at this point. Get some mantlets. We need some defense. Yeah, I think we're defending a bit now, though. Oh, this is the mantlet. Just like the Huron mantlet in AoE 3, folks. Same look. It has a minimum range, though, so you have to... See, this is the problem. Now it's just not backing up properly. Yeah, it's gonna cause some problems now. Do I have enough stone for another? Maybe. I think the problem now is they just don't have ballistics either, so these castles are struggling a bit to hit their targets. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, you gotta love fighting AIs. I think I put the difficulty too high even for myself here. Alright, that's alright. I'll just get market though. I can get market right now, right? Yeah. Trade off some of this excess resource, and then we can get what's the cost of the mantlet? So it's food and gold, right? So just trade off some of the gold and get some food. Yeah, it seems like the castles are doing okay, like taking out some of these troopers, so it's not quite as bad as I thought. Alright, let's try to get some Alright, let's get some mantlets. I wonder if you get enough mantlets, if that's generally enough to fight rams with. It doesn't matter though, because the cab just keeps haunting me. Yeah, let's see how it does if, like, if he'll leave me alone, I'll see. Yeah, see, this is the... Yeah, like, he's really doing nothing, man. Yeah, it does do a lot of damage. I mean, it is eating into it. Problem is I need more of them, I feel like. So, yeah. We should definitely do, like, a more official gameplay than this, you know what I mean? This definitely shouldn't be, like, the gameplay of it. You know, just to show you, like, how these Native American civs look and feel and, you know, get you a bit of an introduction to that, basically. So I think I'm gonna probably resign now at this point. Yeah, pretty much this bot had a lot more strength than me, you know. Again, I probably wasn't doing the best macro and probably didn't build enough defenses quickly enough that I should have. If I did, I think we would have been in better shape. But anyways, I figured I'd just introduce this mod to you. Again, it's called Age of Empires 2, The American World. It's for HD Edition, so if you don't own HD Edition, definitely go pick that up to get it. It's really fun to do multiplayer. You can do single player like this as well. See you in the next record game I do. Signing off now. Hoping to do more of these American World games for you as well. And more intros to the other civs, too. More formal ones, I would say. But not too formal.